All right, let's see what we got here. Who we got here? We got a little suspense. Welcome here. Thanks for joining. We just vibe coding out a little bit with Hermes today. Trying to use a new Hermes profile setup. So we've got the profile section over here. By the way, interested to know, can you hear the music in the background? So basically what we've done here is we've got multiple profiles running on Hermes. Let me open this up. I'll show you what I mean. So you just added a new Hermes agent profile builder. You can have a complete profile on the dashboard, right? So add in like skills, skill hubs, etc. Which we've got over here with the web dashboard. And you can set up MCP servers for each one as well, which is pretty crazy. Claude 5, yep. Nice. Thanks. So far what we've done is we've created a SEO assembly line to create this post here. So if we open this up, this is a published page. It's got internal links, got a nice little SEO optimized blog post there. But basically we used the new update for Hermes profiles, which you can see over here. To work together as a team. So you can have a full, it's kind of like paperclip, but you've got an assembly line with different Hermes agents that can work together. They worked together to create this. And we had a team of agents working together. And then if we go to Kanban here, should be set up. Let me just double check. took about, I actually got Claude Fable 5 to help me with setting up the profiles. So basically what we did here is we were like, okay, let's create a team of profiles. That was about, it took about an hour, but I was doing other stuff in the background, like just coming back and forth between it. And then it's created a full guide about it as well. So you can see here, we've got one that's an SEO writer, one that can do SEO link building, one that could do keywords, and one that could do content outlines. And so these 4 Hermes profiles work together as a team. So you got one that can find keywords, one that can do the outlines, one that creates the content, and then one that actually does the outreach. We built them all with Minimax, and these profiles basically work together as separate agents, essentially. Now, what I'd like to do here is inside the chat section, set up the chat so you can switch between different profiles in Hermes. So let's go and do that. And then we've got Fable 5 over here. Look how bad my spelling has become since using AI. It's just like you don't need to correct typos anymore. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's have a look at this. Ah, it's because we got multiple boards. Look at this. That's why I can't see it. So now that we've created multiple profiles with Hermes Agent, we can see all the stuff they've done between these agents, right? So these are different profiles. So you got Hermes SEO keywords, creating keywords there with the description. Then you have the internal link building and the schema content. Wow, so you can have multiple different boards as well. That's pretty cool. And then you can see all of my sub agents here. So SEO keywords, SEO links, SEO outline, SEO writer, and SEO. Boom. That is cool. And also you can switch between profiles and see what they've done. So just to be crystal clear on this, let's have a look at it. So you've got Hermes profile update, you can manage in the dashboard. Then you can have separate Kanban boards for each. You got them on the drop down there. So you can filter between profiles. There's some cool stuff there. Actually, do you know what, one thing I forgot? Need to change this. Actually, that looks pretty cool. Let's keep it like that. Let's see what comments we got here. Just wondering. I think so. I'm not sure about the type of art or the visuals, but you can generate videos with it. Right? So what you can do over here, you can go to a section over here. In fact, we've already got it built in. Let me show you. So if we go over here and then we go to the video section, we've got hyperframes set up ready to go here. So this can create videos. So you can generate a video with an idea. You can see some stuff that we've built out here too. And this is using remotion as a skill with your agents. So what it's done here is basically create different projects. Maybe I should do another video about this. Let me plug that on the list. So all of this stuff, it's coded out itself as an agent, and then it's plugged it into like a video where it showcases everything that's done, which is pretty amazing. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, this is another one where it just creates an animation using remotion as a skill, and then it can go off from there. This one's probably one of my favorite actually. So it actually created a video for the Agent OS, as you can see. Do you know what I'd actually like to do though? It's like add hyperframes, or maybe like the HeyGen CLI inside here. That would be cool. But yeah, these are all videos created with our AI agent. Here's another one. And so what you this was actually what this did was it got Hermes and it got NotebookLM, put them together with an MCP, and then it can pull in the assets from NotebookLM that it's created, and then sort of show a video where it's comparing, okay, here's an edited asset from NotebookLM and here's a normal asset, and then you can compare them side by side, which is pretty cool. So it's created its own sort of video showcasing what it can actually do with NotebookLM. And that's basically what all these videos are. They're like just little showcases of the power of this stuff. Bear in mind, it doesn't need to be like 10 seconds long. So you can see here, this is 1 minute long, which is pretty cool. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, this one, what it actually did is it took an avatar video and then plugged it into remotion. And basically what it's doing is taking some of the stuff that we built, for example, like Hermes Goal, which we added inside Hermes over here. In fact, I don't really use it, so I think I got rid of it, but yeah, that's an example. And then it's taken the original and just made it a lot better. Could you create that? 100%. You know what? You could create like a separate profile for that, you know? Or you could create a team of them as well. Current says, I can't believe I'm watching. No, this is the real me, don't worry. Yeah. So I actually tried creating the virtual office inside Agent OS. Honestly, it's not that good. Like, there's only one good option for it, which is Claude 3D. But Claude 3D, like, it doesn't sync that well with your other AI agents. It's really just for OpenClaw when I test it out. And so I didn't find the feature useful. I did try to create it. It just wasn't very good. And that's why I removed it. But could we create this? This would be interesting. Let's see if we can do that. So we're gonna create that. could you create something like this inside the agent OS? Probably going to use Claude for that. So this is the way that I really build into the agent OS and how I just make it better and better every day. So what we can call here is, I like to rename the conversation based on what I'm working on. So for example, over here, we have the SEO team. And then what do we have over here? This was the same process, no? Yeah, there we go. Oh, we're playing the bongos. So let's see what we can create over here. So you can see, like, with this video agent that we've got using hyperframes, we can plug an idea over here and then it just starts building it. So you can see what it's actually working on down here. And then once it's fully complete, you'll be able to preview over here. And then also you can see all the stuff that we've created previously, right? So you can see the status of what this has been done, and the status of all this stuff as well. Okay. The other thing I would say here is that it can play the videos it creates as well, which is pretty cool. This is not me, by the way. It's pretty amazing. So that is complete. I mean, how long was that? That was so fast, right? Doesn't look very good though. So what I'm going to do here is grab that. Go over here. So anytime I need to improve something inside the system, this is what I do. I say, okay. So, and then I'll explain like the issues that we have. So for example, didn't follow my instructions, didn't showcase anything that we've created. The video itself was super boring. And this whole feature could be way better. Can you generate something better? Let's improve this. And then what I'm actually going to do over here is we'll go to hyperframes, which is the open source skill for creating videos with this agent. We'll go to Claude and we'll just say, okay. Here's the documentation for improving it. Let's see how this is doing. All right, that's beginning to build out. So now if you go inside this section, right, it should be inside the workflow section next to SEO and the video agent and everything. And then we want to have a section kind of like the video agent section where you can see what you've built, you can preview it, you can see previous stuff that's built, etc. And we can prompt it to create cool stuff. Thanks. Yeah, 100%. Like you can make your own intros on whatever you build out as well, which I really like. So yeah, you can create some awesome stuff with this. Now let's take a look at this one as well. I don't think it's going to be very good as a first attempt, but let's try it out. Oh, it's not bad. Obviously, you would want to make... Whoa. Let's try this out again. Ooh, that's a hard game to play, but I like it. All right, so I'll show you some of the other stuff we've got here. So we got like the team of agents. We have the journal section. Honestly, I don't use the journal and goal section that much, but it looks cool. Then we have the pipeline. This is one of my favorites. So you can basically just take ideas and implement it straight away. This section is obviously super useful, as you can imagine. We use that every day. The video agent is pretty cool, but it needs improving, which is why I'm working on that right now. We have the studio as well, which I actually don't think we need anymore because we got the studio here for Hermes anyway. I'm actually going to get that removed. I think anything that you don't use day to day, just, you know, like if you find, okay, you've got this agent operating system, you're building out with it, you don't use it that much, no problem. Let's get it removed, right? So for example, I'm going to remove those two things. Probably the journal as well. I think those 4 things are not useful. So let's go back over here. All right, that's creating something awesome there. That should get better in a minute. Let's see where we're up to in terms of... Yeah, you can see... So we're using Fable 5 here, but there's no issues with the token limits or anything like that as well, which I like. One sec. So that should be working on something new right now. Let's see what we got. Is Fable 5 using a lot of tokens? For what I've seen so far, it's not so bad. So if we open this up, again, like 5-hour limit, 46%, weekly. I mean, we're on Thursday, I'm only on 21%, so it's not too bad. Finally watching the real Julian Goldie. Thank you very much, sir. What are you building today? So far we've created an SEO team with multiple profiles. Then we have the video agent, the video game agent that's building out some cool stuff over here. We also have a video agent that's creating some awesome stuff and testing some stuff out. Right, you can see it's running the tasks there. And then we've also improved the Kanban page based on the new Hermes update. So Hermes have just released something where basically you can switch between different profiles and build some cool stuff out, right? So for example, over here, we have SEO writer, SEO keywords agent, and they're working together as a team to create content and publish it. So for example, if we go over here, the page was created. And then it was actually published, which is over here, right? So it can create like full blog content, working as a team with different SEO profiles with Kanban and Hermes. And then over here, we have the setup for a video game agent on Kanban. So yeah, just building out some cool stuff. Let's see what we got here. Oh, where's that coming from? There we go. So let's try this out. Ooh. There we go. This is another one. It's pretty cool. I think these are all just like 2D stuff, right? So I think you could probably do a lot better in the long run. But it's pretty cool that you can just create games like you can see here, just typing in a prompt. So we can plug this in and then build it. And that's ready to go as well. So thanks for the idea on that. Jazz says, pretty good, I would agree. I've not heard of that. That sounds cool. All right, so we've created 3 things there. Let's just test it out ourselves. See what we get there. Who we got here? Adam, my man. We're just creating some cool stuff for the Agent OS. You've helped my partner and I so much. It's insane. Thank you so much, Adam. I appreciate that. Good to see you here, man. Pretty good so far, Fable 5. Yeah, I'm liking it. I think it's pretty powerful stuff. I think the only place I've seen it sort of let me down a little bit is when we have been trying to create, trying to explain this, like trying to create UI for websites. Like it seems pretty bad at that, but everything else seems really good at. It's also really good for like just orchestrating and building stuff into our Agent OS system. So I'll give you an example in a minute of what we've done. Just going to set these up. There we go. Feeling the same thing. I'm glad we agree. They need to, I mean, there are skills you can get for improving like UI with Claude in general, but they're not that great. You can do a lot better. The thing that I've found that works really well is just, for example, like this whole website we created with, let me show you this. This whole website we created with Claude, and it looks super nice, but it took a lot of back and forth, just explaining to her, to Claude, like how to create it, what to put in there, etc. And so it looks amazing, but there was so much work, and really it was just me like finding examples, giving examples to the AI, going back and forth, and then eventually we just saved it as a skill that we can go back to. Like these images are super nice, right? All generated with Claude. One thing I noticed actually though, if we go to these images, they're not at the top. of the blog. I'm just going to come back to that now. And then every time I make any changes or I spot any mistakes, I'll just say, I'll update your skill. The guide's based on this. Claude UI is getting better. Yeah, I think so. I think it's gradually improving. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, this is crazy. That looks hard to play. That is cool though. I feel like I'm living in the future right now. All right, so we got the game studio is good to go. That looks awesome. So now what I'm going to do is create a full guide on this. Using your skill for guides. Now let's check if the video agent is better. Well, it's looking better. I think it could be nicer with the design. Nah, this is looking good. It's actually telling a story as well about what we did with Claude Fable 5.2. Look at that. I wonder if we could actually change the back end of this so that we can actually make it way more interesting. See how we're doing on the SEO projects. Oh, not bad. Not bad at all. Let's have a look at that one. That one's gone down a little bit. That one's going up nicely. Look at that. From 0 to hero. These images are crazier. Yeah, it's all coming together nicely. Wonder what else we could add to the agent OS today. Let's have a look. See what we got. That should be fixed now. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's all set up now. Beautiful. This is something I want to check out. Gemma Diffusion. So it just came out today. It helps you generate text 4 times faster. That's a good question. In the agentic OS, what's the difference between Gemini and anti-gravity agents? So right now they're both running on separate CLIs, but bear in mind the Google was actually transitioning from Gemini CLI to anti-gravity CLI this month. So eventually what's going to happen is that Gemini gets replaced by anti-gravity CLI. We have them both built in right now, but eventually this one will be removed and then we'll just stick to this one. So that's the difference between them. I'll come back to that in a sec. So we can get Gemma diffusion Gemma it's called. It's a 26 billion parameter mixture of assets model. Quantized, it fits in 18 gigabyte. I feel like that's still going to slow everything down. England, of course. I'm half Italian, but I won't be supporting Italy. England, how about you? Might just get some steps in. Oh, that's interesting. So you could use diffusion Gemma into this. Let's try that. So now the video agent should be better. Let's see what we got here. Or it could still be better, right? Because we could improve that for sure. It's mostly the intro. Improve that now. So let's see what we got here. This is Diffusion Gemma. So we have a Mac Studio, M4 Max, 36 gig. Right now using 17, I have 7 free. So 97% pressure, but you're going to notice it if you run Diffusion Gemma. What are the MacBook specs required? Fully run Agentic OS. You can run it, like, honestly, I mean, you don't, if you have a Mac Mini, you have more than enough power to run it. Like, it's designed to be super lightweight. So if you look at the Agentic OS system, basically, like, anyone could run it on any sort of basic laptop. We, for example, have a team that run this on, like, you know, super basic laptops. I ran it on my MacBook M3 Pro last week as well, just to test it out. It's fine. You know, it's like, it's so lightweight. It's just a dashboard that organizes everything really nicely. So yeah, if you have a Mac Mini, you got more than enough power. You don't need a Mac Mini to run the Agent OS. Let's test this out. Have you checked out the new Odysseus PewDiePie? Yeah, I checked it out. I didn't like it that much. I've done a tutorial on it already, which you can check out. But yeah, I didn't think it was that good. I've got a full tutorial and step-by-step guide on it here as well. So if we go to this section, you will find a comparison of Hermes versus Odysseus, and then a breakdown on Odysseus here. But did I think it was that good? Not particularly. I also don't think that, it's not designed for most people, because most people are using, how do I explain this? It's designed for like local models, and also like the UI was not that nice. I think it's a cool idea. I just don't think it is useful for that many people. I don't know anyone else who's using it, to be honest. What headphones are rocking? We are rocking. Let me show you here. These ones, WH 1000s. Amazing for cutting out background noise. Would recommend. All right, let's check this one out. It's ready now. I feel like this is going to slow my laptop massively, but let's see what we get back. Oh, it's looking better. Yes, you can. We actually got a full section on how to do that over here. All right, so if you go to we've got these two sections here where you can learn how to do it. We have a full tutorial and a step-by-step recipe on how to do that. It's coming. It's coming. Thank you. I think that's pretty much it. I'm not sure if we need to build anything else out. Trying to think. I'm doing good, thanks. How are you, sir? For this, I would look at, how can you get clients who you can help with that. If you want to learn more about that, check out this section right here. We've got a full course on how to get clients right here. This one. See, these do not look that good. We need to make this system better. See how long that took as well. 3 minutes, not too bad. There we go. With the Agent OS, can it operate multiple clients out of one? Depends what you mean by multiple clients. Like if you have, for example, like the way that I would organize that if I have multiple clients is that I would have separate folders inside my memory galaxy to organize it. And then also, can you have like multiple different agents working together? Absolutely. That's what it's designed for, really. It's like to get the best out of everything. Love the Agent OS. Can the Agent OS perform the tasks you are still doing in Claude? The only thing that I use, so the only thing that I actually use like Claude for still is just improving the Agent OS on the back end. Because I can have like multiple conversations and it's all stored in one place. But for actually using workflows like SEO, generating videos, all this sort of stuff, I just use the Agent OS directly. It's super useful. It's something I'm thinking about, but I feel like it would get, if you were offering, it's something where you'd have to productize it very, very well. That's a big difference then. You have to be very clear about the boundaries. But yeah, it's something that's on my horizon right now. It's on my radar, for sure. See what we got over here. Now we're talking. This video agent is way better. Look at this. That's what we're talking about. All right, let's see what we're up to on that. Yeah, that looks cool. Boom. Video agent done. It's looking amazing. And it's actually showcasing what we've created. I didn't create anything, or I didn't mess around with this at all. It's done it on itself. Pretty amazing. There we go. 100%. Looks amazing, doesn't it? All right, cool. So what we're going to do now is update the guide. So you can actually use like free APIs if you want to. So that's why we built in free Claude code, which can run on local models. And then you also have anti-gravity CLI, which is free too. Gemini CLI is free. And then with Hermes and OpenClaw, you can run them on free models as well, right? So for example, Noose Portal with Step 3.7 Flash is free. Nematron 3 Ultra is free on Noose Portal. So, and OpenClaw as well can run on our Alpha, which is a free API. So if you're limited by tokens, you can just use the free stuff. Are these updates in there? Yes, so they'll be added today. Yeah, so what I do is I update this daily inside the Agent OS system. You can see the last update date, the video tutorial, the zip file, and then every day we update that. So yeah, that'll be coming. After I finish, obviously you got to build everything out first, right? So like after I finish the session, we'll add it to the AI Profit Boardroom, and then you can get the full Agent OS right there. And if you want yesterday's version, it's ready to go too. Let's see what we got. It's looking good. How long would it take? Not long at all. I mean, I set it up when I went traveling last week. I set it up just before, and it literally took like 30 minutes, something like that. Depends how much of it you want to set up as well. But I mean, you can see here, like Ken is, these are all testimonials from the AI Profit Board. We've got 181 pages of them. But if you look, for example, Ken is crushing it. Nick set it up. Ethan set it up. So Eric as well. You can see that everyone's just really excited about building with this stuff because of how powerful it is. Mike as well. So, everyone set it up. Like, it's not difficult. It doesn't take a long time. Look at this. This one actually, with David, he built out his own office with AI agents inside the Agent OS as well. So, yeah, it's cool. All right, so that's getting set up. That's working well. I don't think we'll use that. See how we're getting on with this. This is working better. I'm loving this. We'll definitely join. I'll be honest. That's interesting. Well, I appreciate you. That'd be interesting to know why. Why did you feel like that? Obviously, I've done something wrong. All right, let's see how many steps we got today. 11,000 steps so far. Not bad at all. That's getting done now. Let's have a look at this one. All right, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's looking good. Thank you. Oh, that's interesting. Let's set that up now then. Was that for the AIProfitBoardroom.com website? Let's switch that over. I think it's because I was using an old chat, which I just created now. So we can switch it back. But yeah, all my other stuff I've been using Fable 5, like you see here. So I just switched that back now. Thanks for pointing out. Super shot, Lazarov. You are sharp. I didn't notice that. All right. Can you improve the homepage? Yeah. Okay. We've added that. Add this. Add this too. That should be fixed. What stack do I use for Hermes? So basically Netlify, and then all skills are built in and the agent OS, right? So for actually like adding new SEO content, we can just use this SEO pipeline section here, add the keyword, add the case study, get it deployed. Here's an example we made recently. And then boom, we're good to go. And that's how it works. Well, look at that. Approaching session usage limit. Resets in 2 hours, so I think we'll be all right. Let's have a look at weekly. Yeah, weekly 29%. We're on Thursday, not too bad. Yeah, it's me too. Don't worry about that. What do you use? OpenClaw versus Hermes. Why not consolidate to one model, one harness? Well, the goal with the agent OS is to have multiple different harnesses so you can get the best out of everything, right? So you can have all your agents working together. So, for example, Hermes has different skills to Claude. Claude has different skills to Codex. Codex has different skills to free Claude code, and they all have disadvantages, strengths. So you want them working together, right? That's what we want. And I wouldn't consolidate it because otherwise you might as well just use Claude directly, right? And also, like, they all have different skills that are super useful. So that's why we separate them. If you just had one tab, I don't think it'd be useful. And also, like, for example, let's say a new model comes out. Well, you can't really change that with Claude, but you could change that with Hermes. So if a new model comes out, like Gemma 4 comes out or Gemma 5 comes out, no problem. Like, we can plug it into the system and it doesn't matter. Same with Fable 5. Like, Fable 5 comes out, let's plug it into Claude. Obviously, we're not going to plug that into Hermes, but you get the point. 1 million token context window is good. Fable 5, yeah, I would agree. Let's see what it's doing. Oh, I don't like that. That does not look good. Ah, look at that. Yeah, it's changing the model. It is. You're right. Yeah, I think it's changing the model automatically. I don't use it for that. Some people in the AI profit boredom do. Yeah, it's doing it automatically. That explains it. All right, what else we got to do here? There's one thing I want to test out here. I don't think you're going to be able to hear it. Let's see. If you go back over here, how are we doing today, Jarvis? Perfect. Have I tried? Um, yeah. So if you want to get verified, they just follow the normal route. But obviously, you have to have like a legit setup. And then when it comes to that model, we don't do that model simply because we have an SEO agency, so we already have clients coming to us, so we don't do it like that. But I know plenty of people that do. James Dooley is an expert at that. He's pretty well known for that sort of model. It works really well with SEO. So let's have a look at this. By the way, if you can hear this, tell me. If you can't hear it, also tell me. So we're gonna try this out now. Hey, you there? Are you there, Jarvis? Do I use Virtual Studio Code? No, I just use the Agent OS, mate. That's what we use. Yeah, it's replying pretty quickly as well, actually. That's good. I think I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. I don't think there's anything else we need to change on that. um, yeah, so I would say, I mean, like for me, I do about anywhere between 15, 20,000 steps a day in the gym as well. Maybe that helps. Thanks, Andy. Thanks for joining, mate. Yeah, you go hard or you go home. Let's check this out. Yeah, it's looking good. All right. Exactly. The Agent OS has everything built in, right? So every single workflow that I do day to day, it's like, okay, let's build that in. So, for example, we got the idea factory over here. We have the SEO pipeline for creating content and publishing it to our websites. With the video agent that can build awesome stuff, as you can see right here, in one single prompt. Then we have the game studio that can just create cool games to play. There's some examples right here. Then we have the generator like you can see here. We have Notebook LM plugged in with an MCP. We have the Kanban board. And this is separated by different profiles. So for example, we have a Kanban board for our SEO team where they can do SEO tasks together. And then we have like the CLI for each as well. So for example, Claude is over here. We got Hermes over here. I might actually remove OpenClaw, honestly. But yeah, we have Hermes, Hermes Jarvis where we can talk to it. We got the chat mode here, the chat directly, studio for images, videos, voice. You can see my previous sessions, the workspace, MCPs. We can manage the dashboard, control room, and then finally goal mode as well. How do you know the Obsidian Vault is set up properly? You know it looks good when it's like this. That's what you want. You want the memory galaxy. And that's how you know. And the way that I would do it is just ask your agents, like, okay, give me some ideas based on what I did yesterday, or based on what you know about me. Tell me what we could automate next. And then you can see, okay, is your memory vault set up properly? So if you go to Obsidian that we've got set up here, we've got a full knowledge graph with everything linked together, and it works beautifully, right? That's the way that I would look at it. And then if you want more training on that, I would check out the infinite context engine setup that we use to build this, which you can grab over here. All right, so you can see that setup over here. The Agent OS is like the hypercar of cars. Yeah, that's it. It can do everything, but we also remove like stuff that doesn't work. Like if something is just there because it's there, we don't use it, I just get rid of it, because there's no point having like, loads of stuff that confuses you and you don't actually use. All right, we'll set that up now. There we go. This is amazing. And then we got it all over here. Beautiful. All right. And then we should have, yeah, there we go as well. All right, let's have a look then. So if I'm, yeah, so this is getting fixed. That's good to go. That's good to go. Awesome. Thank you very much. How does Fable 5 compare to ChatGPT in advanced maths? So I think what it's really good at is coding, which is kind of maths in itself, but yeah, is pretty good. I know that on the benchmarks, it is performing way better than GPT 5.5 if you see in the benchmarks. So yeah. Oh, look at this. We've hit the limit. Let's switch that back to 4.8 now. Yeah, the group section is where the agents can talk together, right? So if we have a look at this section, like if you just want to speak to Hermes, you can do it inside the chat here. Or if you want to use a Claude CLI, you got it over here, right? But if you want your agents to interact with each other, which is a pretty amazing feature, we've set that up over here. And then also the cool thing about this is if they have a good idea together, what's going to happen is the agent will add that to the idea factory, right? So when my agents talk to each other, they bounce ideas off each other, they critique each other, they review each other's work. And then when they actually get something good like this, they will add it to our idea factory. And that's the difference. I have done in the past, but it's pretty hard to organize, so I don't really do that anymore. And then for this, so we actually set that up with Hermes, and it can do that. So it's done outreach for us in the past. And then we've actually got a lot of training on that inside the community as well. Yeah, the Agent OS will work on like pretty much any laptop or device. You know, it's really chill. It doesn't use up a lot of power. You know, you don't need a Mac Mini or anything like that. Like, I mean, all of these models are super lightweight, right? Like Hermes can run on a phone, for example. So you don't need to worry about stuff like that, I would say. All right, let's see what questions we got inside the AI profit boardroom. I'm just going to answer some of these. For this, I would just go directly to Cursor. So I do the same with Claude. If I'm trying to improve the Agent OS on the back end, I'll use Claude Desktop and just speak to it directly. I don't think you need a middleman. And also, ChatGPT is built into Cursor, so you can use it OpenAI API if you wanted to anyway. But I would keep it in one place. Otherwise, you're kind of like the messenger, copying and pasting between tabs, which can get super messy. Yeah, this is an awesome idea. I think they get limited quickly, but it does work. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, we've improved it to work better on Windows, and it will only get better in the future as well. Let's see what questions we got here. No. Ever since I've started doing it, like we get better results with that type than me as a human. I'll give you an example. So, if we go over here and we take a look at what performed the best yesterday, you can see that this did the best, and you know that's not me. So, yeah, I actually found like quite often it's quite hard to outperform myself, if that makes sense. Yeah, I just don't know if OpenAI is still in the race. It's been a long time since they've created something good. The only good thing that I've seen ChatGPT create over the last sort of 12 months is probably Codex. And even now, Claude outperforms it, particularly with Fable. And then the other thing that I've seen ChatGPT build that was amazing is ChatGPT Image 2.0. But for actual like coding and that sort of thing, I think, most people building serious things are using Claude. Any difference? No, not as far as I'm aware. They work on both, so you can use them on both. I was building with this today as well, and I found the same thing. It's like it automatically switches all the time, but also we hit usage limits after about 100 minutes of building. So even with Fable 5, it runs out of tokens pretty quickly. You can get it below. I think what you could do if you wanted to use Hermes Jarvis by itself is you could just ask Claude to build out Hermes Jarvis using the documentation, but not build everything else out. Yeah, I would agree. It's something we've improved for like the last sort of 12 months, that sort of thing. But we actually have a lot of training on it as well. So, if people watching this and they're like, okay, I need something like that for myself, then you can get it over here. And we have a training on how we build it out. We have an example training where myself and someone else builds out together. And then we have an example training of how we do the actual editing and everything. So, yeah, it's all inside here. From what I'm seeing, people focus on speed. See what else you got here. Hermes in the agent OS, how do you get the code building agents to add one at a time, or is it best to plan out? Also, would it work or be any advantage to have a second Hermes agent? So you can just uh, so for Hermes agent profiles, if you want like multiple profiles, definitely ask yourself, do you need them? I think most of the time, most people don't need them. And then for actually having a second Hermes agent sidebar, I don't think that would be useful for 99% of people. I don't know many people who are using multiple agent profiles together, but you could always add that and ask Claude to build it in if you wanted to. Happy to help. Yeah, you could if you wanted to, or you could just add new workflows in, right? So, for example, over here, you could add a new section for personal and a different section for business. Yeah, you can get that on GitHub. You could use our alpha as a free API from OpenRouter, or you could use local models as well. And then also with News Portal, I think this is actually the best option. You could log into News Portal, set that up as the model for Hermes. And there's two free models you get, Step 3.7 Flash and also Nematron 3 Ultra. Depends how much you use it. And if you don't fancy it. But I think if it's saving you time and it's helping you build, then it's 100% worth it, right? Because it's only going to save you time and help you build faster. I think you could ask Claude when you set it up to use a different API. I don't think you would use Minimax on OpenBrouter, but for example, you could use an API with file from this or 11 Labs. The 11 Labs voice feature that I've built in only works with the subscription plans. Thank you so much. Yes, for me personally, here's what I've built. Number one is a video agent. Number two is an SEO agent. Number three, we have an agent as a team with Paperclip. Then additionally, we use Claude CLI for building out websites. So there's loads of different use cases. You just want to look at, okay, where do you spend your time? And then how can you use the workflows inside there to save you time? Welcome to the crew, Ludovic. Great to see you here. Excited for you. Let's see what questions we got. For me personally, I run it locally. The only issues I've seen with like OpenClaw, for example, were when people had it on a VPS. I don't really do much of that, so I'm probably not the best person to ask, honestly. Yeah, 100%. Like, even if you only have Codex, it's worth setting up the agent OS. You can just configure everything to work with Codex instead of Claude. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, Randall. There we go. We've been spotted. That's funny. All right. We got such an awesome community of people here. It's just like there's some good banter in there. That's what we like. Welcome here, Hector. Excited for you and thanks for joining. There's lots of good workflows inside here for SEO, so I think you're in the right place, and funnels too. Welcome, Dean. That's awesome. Yeah, the 6-week course is really good. I'm a big fan of Claude too. So I think what you can do is just give it the new zip file and say update to this. That would probably be the simplest option. I'm actually going to add that too. Oh no. Look at that. And that. Then it can take the new stuff and add it to the old stuff. Ah, that's cool. That's really cool. It's looking great. Well done on setting up. I was building with it today. It's really good, but the issue is it runs out of credits quickly. Wow. How much fun is it? That sounds like an awesome workflow. Thanks for sharing, Joshua. There we go. This looks amazing. Let's have a look at this. That's a beast, isn't it? Really cool setup. I like what you've done there. Yes, you can get it over here. There's no way. Why is that not updated? Oh, come on. That is strange. We just got a bunch of new ones. Oh, I'll come back to it later. It's amazing. Been building some cool stuff with it already. Hey, Davide. Thanks for joining. Yeah, that's a great question. Let me show you our best training on this. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm building it out daily. Thanks for joining, Shannon. Wow. Can build our CRM. Insane. That's actually massive. Well done on implementing it. That's a huge project that I think 99% of people couldn't do. Welcome here, Gwinnett. Great to see you here. I think if you have to pick one, I'd just go with Claude Code because it's smoothest and it's easiest to use. A lot of people prefer Hermes because it's open source, you can run it with free APIs, it's more customizable, and it's more fun to build with. Whereas Claude itself and Claude Code is not that customizable in the same way. Thanks for joining, Paul. Great to see you here. Not yet, but this might be something we build later. The only reason I didn't build it is because I just want to keep it local and I don't want to share access to the wrong place or something like that. Welcome here, Christopher. Sounds like you're building something amazing there. Who we got here? Chad, welcome here, mate. 100%. Even when I just got a bunch more tokens, but it still says we're out, which is weird. I check for updates. Strange. You see here? Might have to change the plan in a second. Nope. Okay. Is there anything you're still using NA10 for? Nope. I don't really use NA10 anymore. I think it is great for learning the basics of AI automation, but for most people, Claude is going to do what NA10 can do in a no coding way, right? And that's the best thing. That's amazing. Sounds like you're building some awesome stuff there, Melvin. Thanks for joining. Love the sound of the story you're building. Yeah, that makes sense. So we actually do it with the Agent OS now. There's a tutorial in the section below. That's great. It sounds pretty cool. I think the Agent OS is great for SEO too. That's how we're creating content now. We just give it a keyword and a case study, and then it can deploy via Netlify from there. Let's go. Excited for you. I've got a Mac Mini too, and I've also got a Mac Studio. I tend to use the Mac Studio more, but they're both amazing things. And also, I think the Mac Mini is great for when you're traveling. Great question. Yes, you can do this with the video agent section, but I would recommend, if you want to keep it simple, just use the link above. The Kanban is so good. I've been using it today as well. We built out some new agent profiles, and then we've got the Kanban board building out new cool stuff with the different agent profiles. So for example, you can have a full team of Hermes agent profiles just for building out SEO stuff. Yeah, 100%. A lot of people use Hostinger as well. People have even been using the Agent OS on a VPS. You can see the example below. Great to see you here, John. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I think so. If you're worried about that sort of stuff, if you want to make it more difficult to access, then you could do it. For me personally, I wouldn't like to link my Agent OS to another device just to be careful, but you could have like two different setups, one on your office PC and one on your Mac. That's actually what I did with two different laptops. I think we've answered everything. Look at this. Welcome here, Terry. Great to see you here. Excited for you. Thanks for joining. Sometimes the AI just doesn't understand my English accent. Hey, Mark. Great to see you. This is awesome. Nice work. This actually makes me want to get NVIDIA Spark. Sounds so much fun. All right, I think that's everything answered. Oh, this, I think we've answered this one a second ago, no? Thank you for this. I didn't think about using that on a mobile, but that could be pretty interesting as an idea. Let's see what else we got here. That's amazing. Well done, and thanks for sharing. Okay, that's great. So I think what you could do is set up a separate inbox for Hermes Agent, and then you can schedule outreach with that inbox daily using Hermes. I did it with Google Workspace. So I set up a account that can use the API and be accessible via API using Hermes Agent, and then it does the outreach for me daily. I've got a tutorial below. There we go. It's actually amazing, like how active this community is. I've never seen anything like it. It's unbelievable. All right, let's see what we got here. Just joined the group. Thank you so much. Any tips on starting off? Would Sonnet be sufficient? Absolutely. Yeah, Sonnet will do the job, and it'll work really nicely. Yeah, so if you've just joined, I would start with the start here section here, get into it, and then just try and automate one thing a week based on the settings inside there. And share your journey as well. If you can share your journey, what you're working on, what you're building, you'll get the most out of this. So thank you. Abdullah says, thanks for joining. So is Claude Fable free to use until June the 22nd? It's free to use, so it's included in your subscription. So if you're already subscribed to Claude, then it's added on the subscription. Just started Hermes on a Mac. What should be the structure? So, I don't worry too much about the file structure, but I would just look at, okay, what you're working on day to day, and then how can you automate that, right? The file structure and everything else is not that important. What's more important is how are you using it? What are you automating? And are you being productive with it as well? And that's what you want. Let's see what we're here. Grant created a game with Hermes. That's pretty insane. Congratulations. Wow. The game looks really cool. Like the futuristic feel. All right, let's see if Claude is working again now. This is crazy. Why is Claude Desktop not recognizing that we've got more tokens in the account? Ah, that's why. That is why. Okay, great. Why doesn't it just tell you that? There we go. All right, we'll fix that. That's perfect. What right now, I would say, yeah. So I mean, in terms of that, like, I'd say this one of the best ways is like you learn this stuff and then you work with clients who can help you, right? Who you can help, sorry. I think that's one of the best ways. And then also just building your own stuff, you know, like for example, if you've got an idea for an app, a tool, etc., then that works really well because you can share it with the world. And obviously, if it's a good tool, then people sign up. Much like we've done with the Agent OS. So number one is building out an agency with clients, like I've talked about, or just being a freelancer. Number two is having a tool or an app. And I can show you that, you know, we've created the Agent OS, and that means that a lot more people have joined our community. So that's the second one. And then the third one is just documenting what you do. You know, if you document what you do in the process, then people get interested, you build an audience, and everything grows from there. Thanks very much. Did you say the new OS, the new Agent OS is updated daily? So every day we update it, like every 24 hours. So this is open for everyone who joins to get access, and you can get it over here. Right? So you just go to the classroom and then new daily updates, and you can find it right here. We actually have it at the top, as you can see, so it's easy like for everyone to get access. And the interesting thing about this as well is you can see the journey of what we do. So we actually have a change log for all the new updates and everything that we add daily, and we've been documenting that for weeks now, which is pretty cool. No, I haven't tried that actually. That's pretty interesting. What is that? Is it open source? Oh, that's pretty cool. Interesting idea. More questions to answer. Let's see. You don't need to go through all the classes from the beginning. You can just go straight here. Travis, welcome so much, and thanks for joining. Sounds like you're building some awesome stuff there. I'm excited to see what you build next. I think with the Agent OS system, you get a lot more value out of it because nobody wants to manage their agents inside Discord, but having a dashboard like this will make it way easier to use and get the most out of your agents. What I've seen, Higfield seems the best for this. We did some cool animations for that, and yeah, it works really well. Thanks so much for joining, Blake. Welcome in. Is it fully open source, Strawberry? Let's find it. It didn't look like it, but maybe I just misunderstood it. Because it seems like it's not open source. This is the one, right? Is it on GitHub? That's not it. Can't see it. Before I found you, I was building my agent OS. I guess with the situation, will your agent OS learn? Yeah, I mean, like you can say, okay, combine these two projects together and just build it out from there. That's the way that I would do it. So you can combine them both and have like the best of both worlds together. Yeah, I can't see it. Maybe it was before, but from what I've seen so far, it doesn't look open source. All right, let's have a look what we got here. Try again. Let's try again. Oh, let's change that back to 4.8. Let's have a look what we got here. Going for a walk again. Okay, nice. Now, can you change the Agent OS CLI back to 4.8, please? Reason I don't want to use Fable 5 inside the Agent OS right now is because it's using too many tokens. Classic. What is going on here? So that should be sorted now. Yeah, it's not that complicated, don't worry. Like, for example, I'll give you an example, right? So Ethan, he said he's 61, not a coder. He set up the Agent OS with 8 agents, voice and Obsidian installed. So if they can do it, you can do it, you know? All right, that seems to be working better now. Yeah, for this, I mean, so inside the Agent OS, on this section, we use hyperframes. That's how we're using it. Everyone's using Claude today, for sure. And this is kind of off-peak hours, right? Okay, we'll fix that. Oh, that's better, isn't it? But they all look the same. Let's try that again. See how long that took as well. 2 minutes, 45 seconds, not too bad. Tyler, congratulations, mate. Well done, man. The new model is amazing, but it uses a lot of tokens. So be wary of that. That was the first time I really couldn't use Claude. And yeah, you just want to be aware of that. We've actually switched everything back inside the Agent OS to Opus 4.8 for now, just because, you know, if anyone's using this, we don't want to be using that. Thank you. Have you tried the 11 labs? Yeah, absolutely we have. So I'd recommend Hermes Jarvis that we've built inside the Agent OS with 11 labs. Let me show you an example of this. Jarvis, are you there, mate? Jarvis, how are you today, sir?
Indeed, I did, sir. You asked me just a few moments ago, and I'm still splendidly well. Thank you.
So we can. That's the way that I would chat with the voice agents. We have it plugged in here. Depending on what you ask it to do, and how you reply with it can be pretty quick. And then also the other option is you can just have a conversation with the AI right there. Yeah, I would agree. All right, I think that's pretty much it for today. Finished building, created some awesome stuff. What did we create? We created a new SEO agent with a team of Hermes agent profiles. We created the SEO video game agent, the new video agent as well. So some good stuff right there. And we improved this tool as well, which is great. Looks a lot nicer now. Perfect. All right. Cheers then. Bye bye.